listening to In the Zone on Sports Radio 1340 WEPM.
And welcome back to In the Zone with Fred and Angela. We are joined now by Bridgeport girls basketball coach Dave Marshall. And Coach, let's talk a little bit about the season so far, and it's gone well for you. I mean, you can't complain about 23-1 right now.
No, we've been very blessed. I've really got a wonderful group of young ladies to work with and a great staff. And they have worked hard, and they just continue to improve daily, and that's what we've asked of them since back in June. So yes, it's been a nice ride.
Coach, you haven't lost since December 17th, and that loss, a 3-point loss to Morgantown, 54-51. What has been the biggest thing, the biggest improvement that your ball club has faced throughout the season?
I think, Fred, as much as anything, it's our continued improvement on the defensive end of the floor. I mean, as far as X's and O's go, I really think that these girls have, not just this year, but in these past couple of years, they've bought into what we're trying to do defensively, and they just continue to improve with that. And when we play as much man as we do, you probably know as much basketball as you've been around, that it's just something that you just have to keep working at, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get, and they've really bought into that. Let's
talk about the sectional tournament, 2 games that you all played. You win 70-29 over Elkins, and then you defeat Robert C. Byrd 54-37. In that Robert C. Byrd game, I saw some highlights, and it looked like Robert C. Byrd got up on you early, but your girls didn't panic or anything and came back and put them away in that second half.
Yeah, I think that's a testament to the experience that we have. I mean, we're got out of our top 7, 5 of them are seniors, and 6 of them have some pretty high-quality time in intense situations. And, you give Byrd credit. You're going, like you say, you're going to get to see him tonight. You're going to see a very good outfit there. And they just came out and punched us in the mouth about as hard as you get punched there in that first quarter. And I was really pleased with how the girls just held their composure and handled a very tough situation and just sort of whittled back into it and got themselves in a good situation at the end.
We're talking with Dave Marshall, head coach of the Bridgeport girls basketball team. Coach, you don't play a lot of teams up here in the Panhandle. You played Martinsburg earlier in the year. What have you done this week to prepare your girls for Hedgesville?
Well, we made the trip up on Friday night to watch their sectional. We play our sectionals on Thursday, so we had Friday nights. So we went up there and watched that. Of course, we played them last year in the same game in the regional final, and they have a lot of girls back, and we have a lot of girls back. And we played them once in the summer. I don't put much stock into that, but we really went to work on the film we had from last year, and is what we got the other night. And we know that's a fine outfit. I have a ton of respect for Coach Merica, and he's got some nice players there. He's got a lot of good athletes, and when you can score 8 or more points a game from all 5 positions, I think that speaks volumes of just how good they are.
Hey, Coach, how tough is it to prepare for a team? And as you said, you saw them on Friday and you looked at some film and you played them last year. But how tough is it to prepare for a team that really you don't play on a yearly basis? And do you think that's something that the region should do, is maybe put a rule into where you play every team in the region at least once?
I don't know about that with that rule, unless you can get it around to Christmas time or on a Saturday or something because of the travel. That's a haul. Of course, we'll be coming out of that region going to Double A, but that would be a haul. And I think in a way, it kind of gives it a flair, almost a state tournament flair, where you're playing somebody fresh, playing somebody new, and it just makes you go to work as coaches. And I think it makes the girls a little bit more attentive because they realize, hey, we haven't seen these people before. We don't know exactly how we match up with them, so we better really be tuned in and pay attention to detail this week.
And preparing for this game, is it more about what your girls do more so than what Hedgesville's doing?
Yeah, that's pretty much the way we like to approach it. But at the same time, we, as coaches, and maybe it's just overkill, we like to try to, the best we can, make them understand what we think is going to be coming at them. But, this is tournament time. We could see a whole different situation than what we've seen on Friday night as far as X's and O's and motivation and everything else. You have to be prepared. And I think that happens over the course of your season, the course of what you did in the summer, the course of what these girls have done for the last 4 to 8 years of their lives.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll pay off tonight.
Coach, when I remember your ball club coming to the state tournament last year and Mickey Glenn, the point guard for you, just a sophomore last year, I was impressed with what she did last year. Talk about her improvement from last year to this year.
She's come a long way. She's a special player, and she's a special young lady, and I could repeat that for any of the girls you want to mention. But Mickey has she's a very tough matchup in my opinion. She obviously is a point guard. She shoots the ball well. She takes the ball to the basket just about as well as anybody I've ever coached, and she's just extremely strong. She has a nose for when to draw the contact, and she's going to spend a lot of time on a good game. She'll spend hopefully a lot of time on the foul line, and she's also our best perimeter defender, really.
Hey, Coach, looking at your schedule, just some of the scores of these games, you average probably in the 60s scoring points. Some games are in the 70s. You guys run that transition game. Is that something your team likes to do?
A little bit, probably not quite as much as last year. We lost a couple really quick guards to graduation, so we've kind of curtailed it a little bit. But to be honest with you, we run the ball better and more efficiently than I expected to coming into this season. Now, we're not an all-out North Carolina men's. We're not running for 32 minutes or whatever. But, we're a pretty opportunistic group about when we pick to run, and it's worked for us pretty well so far.
Coach, tell me about a couple of matchups and seeing Hedgesville. What did you see from them that you look at your ball club and maybe some matchups that you want to try to take advantage of?
Well, I don't know about taking advantage. We're hoping that, we can shoot the ball well. Bird was able to take us away from some of the shots we wanted to take, but then, again, Mickey stepped up and took what Bird was given. But, just to list that freshman point guard, the Nunn girl, I'm really impressed with her. And, of course, you can't say enough about Creamer. She's a tough matchup, however you look at it. She's just quick as lightning. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right, but number 32, I think it's Manette. What they're using as a center. She's so athletic. And then the Shaw girl, 24, and we was up there the other night. I think she had 16 points. She's got some nice up and unders. The more I watch that game, the more I'm like, wow, man, we really got our work cut out for us. So, we're going to have to play well defensively and hit some shots, get some shots first of all, and then hit our share up.
Does your girls? Do your girls look like any kind of pressure that you know in practice, that they're putting pressure on themselves, being 23-1, and depending on which poll you look at, number one in the state, do they put a little added pressure on you?
I can't totally speak for them, but what I see in practice is no. That's never been a goal for them. It's at least not what we've talked about. Unless my daughter's on the team, so I guess I have a little bit closer relationship than maybe with most teams I've coached, and that never seems to be an issue. They really, it's coach talk. It's cliche to say, boy, they're like sisters. Let me tell you, these girls have been together really for 8 years now playing travel. They probably play 75 games summer. They're all over the place. They really, when they're not together, they're going to movies together. They really enjoy each other. They're just, to me, it appears they're just enjoying each other's company, and they're really wanting to do the very best they can for each other. So I don't see the pressure. I see a group that just wants another opportunity to go out and compete and enjoy being around each other and seeing what they can do.
Well, yeah, and I think Coach Merica shares that same aspect of the game with you as, he has some of those freshman girls that are playing really well, and it's because they play a lot in the summer. And, we all know that's where basketball players are made, and it makes for a lot better basketball during the basketball season. Yeah,
no question. I don't think you can say that basketball, especially shooting a basketball or handling a basketball, is not something you can pick up in November and expect to be, very good at least as good as those that are doing that. It's very obvious. These girls I'm working with now, just to show you the benefit of hard work, they never won their county championship in junior and middle school down here, and they never quit playing. To them, it wasn't necessarily about winning that championship. It was about let's just get better and let's just keep playing and playing and playing. And now they're as good as they are, and it's just a direct result of, like you're saying, just the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Coach Marshall, we appreciate the time coming in zone today. I know you're getting ready for this game tonight, so I wish you the best of luck. And if you happen to win the regional championship, we'll look forward to seeing you down in Charleston coming up next week.
Well, I appreciate that, Fred. I hope we can do it. We'll see what happens.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, buddy.
Dave Marshall, Bridgeport, calling us in. And now we got a pretty good idea of how, the games. We'll talk to both coaches, which was fun.
We'll talk to two coaches tonight at Martinsburg and Robert C. Bird's head coach, as we'll be there at the girls' game. And, hey, we got it covered.
Exactly right. Stay tuned. More In the Zone with Fred and Angela coming up right here on Sports Radio 1340 WEPM.